I've just been talking to Massimo here from Eko Guitars, and he told me that Paulownia wood is some of the best wood to make guitars from for an ecological reason.
Yeah.
Can you talk to me about that on the camera and explain to everybody what you were saying?
Okay, so Paulownia is a great wood. Is a tree, can grow 5 meters each year, and the method that the tree grows is to eat CO2. Is a very lightweighted wood, very resonant. The sound is close to Swampach, but we know that also Swampach is very expensive. With the brand Eko, we build guitars not expensive, very affordable. So we discovered that Paulownia is a good choice for the sound and for the price and for the environment. And I have personally 5 Paulownia trees in my garden, in the backyard.
You showed me a photo of one that was 3 years old and one that was 5 years old.
Yeah, exactly.
And he sent this to me, and I'm going to put it on screen now. That is a massive difference for just that young age.
Yeah, exactly.
And then the wood gets dried or cut and then dried and turned into not just guitars, right, but many things.
Yeah, many things, especially for instruments, because when the tree grows, there's like a space between in the wood, and this makes the wood very light and very resonant.
And this is one of the guitars that's made of Paulownia.
Yeah.
You might have heard of Paulownia. It's a wood that's becoming more popular to replace things like Swampach and also older, and people are using it in the more accessibly priced guitars.
Yeah, and I hope that also politicians want to plant this kind of trees in our city, because eats the CO2 and produce oxygen. So it's very good for the environment, not only for the guitars.
I was talking to Andy Powers from Taylor Guitars.
Okay.
And for Taylor Guitars, they plant trees in the cities, and they do what's called urban wood.
Wow.
Because cities need trees, right, to eat the CO2.
Yeah.
And then they cut those trees down and replace them. So they're doing stuff like that to help the world
Great idea.
Be safer. But you said that Paulownia was one of the biggest battles of climate change and CO2. That's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, for me it's amazing. So for sure is nothing compared to the big environment problems we had, but it's better than nothing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. But also, it's not just the body wood for this guitar and some of your other models. You were talking to me about the composite that you use for the fretboard. Yeah,
we call it WPC, it's wood polymer composite, and have 2 reasons. One is that in not expensive guitar, it's not easy to dry the wood enough to have, for example, rosewood on the fretboard that during the years stays stable and didn't shrink.
Right.
That don't shrink. When the wood shrink, you can feel the frets, on the sides, and it's not comfortable. So this WPC is a resin that use the waste from the wood processing to build guitars, and we use this wood for the fire to boil the water, and then we put the other waste from wood processing, and we create this resin, and sounds good. Is okay. Probably the ebony on a fretboard could be better, but this is very stable, sounds good, and is good for the environment.
Yeah, and good for the pocket as well.
Yeah, also for the pocket, because the guitars are still not expensive.
So I always wonder how companies can make guitars for so little money. And often we talk about the people that make them in countries that aren't Europe. I'm careful with what I'm saying there, because I don't know where the guitars are made. But
no, we can say that we made this guitar in China.
Okay, so it's made in China.
Yeah. This price range is impossible to do in Italy.
No, but you're looking at all these different ways to save money. But the fact that these guitars are also using ecologically sourced wood, and we're saving the planet. So by buying guitars, buying Eko guitars, or guitars that are made of Paulownia, if you do that, they have to cut down the trees, which means they're going to plant more trees. So save the planet, buy a guitar. Thanks, Massimo. That was really interesting.
Thank
Cheers.
you.
Go and subscribe to the channel. I'm going to put some links to his music. He is a multi-million record-selling musician, and I've enjoyed his music. You'll hear the guitar. Eko Guitars, thank you. This is Guitar Summit. Check out the other stuff in the playlist, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.